Final Fantasy, or with Aaron Gaming. We're going to play through Final Fantasy VI. This is the first episode. Yay! Um, Jump over here to Final Fantasy VI, first episode. This Pixel remake. I'm going to be playing on a PlayStation 5, which unfortunately makes it difficult for other. It makes it really easy for me to stream to Twitch. Makes it difficult for others to join, like Tim, unless they have a PlayStation 5 account. But we'll figure it out. It's really convenient to Twitch stream, though, is the thing. So, I want to try to completion as Final Fantasy VI for a couple reasons. One, that's another reason I want to play it on PlayStation 5, because I love PlayStation 5's trophy system. Better than Steam by far. And I want to completionist. I almost completionist Final Fantasy 5, which I liked a lot better than I thought I would, by the way. But in order to completionist completely, I would have to play through it again, again. And I don't want to do that. I don't want it that bad. Final Fantasy VI, however, is probably my number two favorite Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy IV being the first one, um, which I played through on Steam. So maybe eventually I'll go back and completionist it. So I wanted to read through the Gaiden walkthrough real quick. I don't think it's cheating to use a walkthrough because I've already cleared Final Fantasy VI at least twice, probably three times. So, I mean, I finished the game, and I figure once you finish the game, you can. The problem with these Final Fantasy games, too, is if you finish the game and then go back, you might lose things, which is what happened with Final Fantasy V. Namely, that I didn't get all the treasure chests, so I was probably missing one in a world that I couldn't get to at the end of the game. I wish it would allow you to like have a plus version when you play through it with all your equipment and levels and AGP and all that. That would be cool, but for whatever reason, they didn't do it that way. Anyways, Final Fantasy VI was Final Fantasy III, the SNES. I remember Tim got it first for Christmas, and I borrowed it from him. Fell in love with it, like all people that played Final Fantasy VI when it was released. Using the GPIQ, no screenshots. So screenshots look slightly different. Okay, how to navigate this guide. There are three main methods. First is click links, take more information on top of the search button. Use control, find link, use table contents, hints, tips. These newer versions do not have the evade bug. In other words, both evasion and blind status work as originally intended, so keep that in mind. Level grinding isn't recommended early in the game. Tim. It is unnecessary, and the return on investment is far better late in game, which is, I would argue, is the same for most Final Fantasies. Early in game, you'll be relying on special skills for most of your damage output. For the streets of magic users will mostly be healers, while Locke is best used for still duty. In the second half of the game, the basic skill attack and magic. That's a big debate for me and Tim is whether Locke should be steely. He should. In the second half of the game, the basic skills, attack and magic, and their variants generally become better options than skills. So be sure to keep up on equipment and spells. Once you get Espers, give your best mages priority for offensive magic and teach other characters support or healing abilities. Late game, you'll want to begin equipping Espers to boost your character's key stats. You can find information about this here. For more detailed strategy information, click here. So we might want to click on those too. Read through them. I mean, I guess you could use this as a video walkthrough of completioning Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster. Excuse me. Stat boosting. While secondary magic selection, stat boosting is still important with Final Fantasy VI character development. It's easy, simply click an Esper, which boosts a desired stat, and the list of stat boosts will be given every time the character gains a level. So that's interesting. It's very much like Final Fantasy 3 then. I didn't even realize that equipping Esperts helps boost your stats when you are leveling up. So, Bahamut, 50% strength, magic stamina, and speed. So it's not terribly complicated. Of these, only 2 are really important. Strength will boost physical damage, while magic will boost magical attacks. Strength and magic. So what does stamina and speed do then? No. HP and MP boosts are both relatively pointless in this game, and for those going for max, it's only needed a small number of specific levels to do it. Okay. Stamina does very little, and speed's effect is extremely limited in Final Fantasy's ATB system, so pick the stat that's best for your character. I don't want it. That stands for attack or something. If you attend. Okay. Apparently people are arriving, so forgive the noise. If you intend to max HP, equip Bahamut when the character reaches 68. That is equipped to Esper after gaining level 68. And take it off after they gain level 71. Okay. To max MP, give the character's Crusader after they gain level 70 or 47, and take it off after level 50. However, only Terra, Celeste, Mog, and Realm can max out MP with just that. Most characters need another level with Esper. You can go to the other side of these levels. While Sabin and Cyan will need 2 additional levels. Under Crusader, 4 total, 4 or 5 total. So why are you doing it at that level, though? I guess it's just because that's when you get a bunch of level ups. I don't know. Another key point to keep in mind is that all non-HP empty stats are hard capped to 128. So switch to a different stat should you reach 120 in any stat. Interesting. Why wouldn't it cap it at 100? Which stats are raised? There's a table for that too. Note that if 2 stats are listed, it means pick one and stick with it unless it says and, in which case you should balance somewhat between them. In this case, my first is my personal recommendation, but either will make a fine choice. Okay, so strength, magic, strength. So why would you choose those characters with those? I don't understand. At this point, a few notes are in order. Terras and Celeste make fine mages or fighters, so raise them however you like. It makes sense to raise one as a mage and the other as a fighter. Well, of course, Terra's a mage and Celeste is a fighter. To avoid unneeded duplication of roles, but they're still the best characters in the game. Terra has slightly better magic stats and Celeste slightly better physical ones. So I would raise Terra as a mage and Celeste as a fighter. Exactly. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. Shadow is best raised with strength, but if you plan to level 99, do magic instead, since his Shuriken will be very close to 9,999. Anyway, Gao needs both, since he's both physical and magic and relies on both. Give him some help with categories. Cesar's a fighter, but his attack command with fixed dice isn't reliant on stats. Might as well raise slot and magic. Mog finally is a jump user in game, so raise strength. Makes sense. So magic strength, Locke is strength, makes sense. Edgar is strength, Sabin is magic, that's interesting. Celeste, strength and magic. Cyan, strength. Shadow, strength, magic. Gauss, magic, strength, Strago, magic, and Realm Mog, magic, which makes sense for those 2. That's pretty straightforward. I'm not even say if you intend max HP, equip Bahamut when the character reaches 68. Why? I don't understand why it's 68 though. And take it off again after they get level 71. 47, take it off 50. Only Terra, Celeste, Mog, and Realm can max out with just that. Most characters need another level with the Esper. You can go to either side of these levels, while Sabin and Cyan will need 2 additional levels on Crusader for a total of 5. Why are you waiting till level 68? That's what I don't understand. Like, what's special about that number? I guess it's not that special since you can change it on either side of the levels. So we just got to remember, once we reach level 40, start thinking about this. Okay. Let's skip to the strategy guide. This section details very strategic considerations of Final Fantasy VI. Covers the following topics: character evolution, teaching magic, stat boosting, Coliseum, betting chains, and in-game setups. Character evaluation, not evolution. Okay, their strengths and weaknesses in comparison to each other is a very important topic. Final 6 is also very much more complicated by the size of the final cast, 14, and by the final cast meaning the final actors, and by progressing various skill sets over time. Full discussion of the topic is impossible due to space constraints, but Meeple Lard's character fact found on GameFAQs covers the topic in much greater detail. This section will be a reasonably concise explanation of the topic since the above linked fact is very lengthy. How lengthy is it? I'm just curious. What exactly is overview of the game itself? It's decently lengthy, I guess. A few hundred pages. Yeah, not reading that. Theoretical considerations. Before making conclusions, we must first take into account theoretical considerations. The most prominent is classifying a character as physical and magical. These two general categories obey vastly different laws, thanks to the game's damage formulas and stats. The most fundamental question is answered by looking at a character's stats, special skills, and equipment. Case Mog. They're magical characters in what is WOB? World of B and World of Ruin. I don't know what the B stands for. World of, I don't know. Secondly, the character's equipment progression. That is, the equipment they have available for first recruitment to the final dungeon has to be taken into account. Equipment plays a key role in Final Fantasy VI, like it does in most Final Fantasy games. How good or not is the character's equipment throughout the game, then is a crucial consideration. How long is this? It's not too bad. Finally, let's look at the character's skill set. Physical skill set will favor physical character, while magical character's skill set calculates their usefulness. Characters with better specials are naturally going to be favored over those with poor ones. Better special skills are generally those that either do more damage or provide greater versatility. Okay, so what does a character need to be better than another? To answer this question, fundamental question, is a character essentially physical or magical? Physical characters require above all physical abilities. Above simple attack power, these attacks can either be weapons or from their skill set. Pure stat matter relatively little to the fighters. Mog, for instance, has very poor strength and attack power, but still ends up one of the best physical characters in game. The only stat that characters really care about is level. The square of the user's level is used to determine physical attack power, and really the primary number in the damage formula. What kind of special effects are we talking about? The most useful ones are damage multiplier effects, auto criticals, damage increases, spears jump bonus, throw, etc. Those with the unique and potentially strong damage formulas or minimum strong defense, ignoring attacks, especially at the end of the game. You'll notice that all good physical attacks have at least one ability or much more often a weapon with one of these properties. Pure attack is of very little importance to physical characters and by extension to all characters. Boosts to strength especially do help, but they're largely on paper bonuses unless raised in bulk. What about magical characters? They're ones who have big induced stats. Magic is a primary determinant of a character's effectiveness with magical skills. And good magical characters also have equipment that further boosts their magic. Conversely, level has relatively little effect on magical attacks. So users of these attacks will get bigger boosts out of magic boosts than simple levels. We must also, so basically, I guess what they're saying is levels matter a lot when you're talking about physical. When we're talking about magic, espers are what make a difference. We must also consider defense for any character, be they physical or magical. Here is where the second fundamental question, equipment, really comes to play. All of the good defensive characters can achieve either high defense, magic evasion, or evasion without needing to resort to the merit award. What the heck is a merit award? Some kind of an item. Merit award. Allow users to equip any merit award compatible equipment. So it just allows them to equip a bunch of equipment. What about special skill sets? Early on skill sets determine character ratings. Those are the best. Tools, blitz, range, dance consistently end up as your best options. the end of the game, attack and magic and their variants end up better and therefore almost always more important. Most skill sets stop getting good skills by the end of World of Balance. That's what it stands for. Or early World of Ruin, while attack and magic continue improving as you gain access to option slot and dance have relatively little use after the end of Act 1. Interesting. While tools and lures are largely situational after that, and trance, runic, and sketch through the whole game. Only blitz, rage, and throw continue really being viable in game. What is rage? I don't remember. Is that Gao's skill? Blitz is yeah, I remember that. And throw is everything. Everyone else is going to be using some form of either attack or magic. Still isn't worth mentioning here since it's not intended as a damage defense ability. Begin with this by having very valuable uses, and Bushido is just plain bad. Really, it's too bad because it's one of my favorite characters. Scion, is that his name? Hey, whoa, I'm streaming. Why'd you throw something down the stairs?
I accidentally kicked the bucket.
That means you died, Mimu. So who's physical and who's magical? This is a grand question. Here's the answer. There are hybrid characters that can do it all, but we'll get to that. Your magical characters are Terra, makes sense. Celeste is a hybrid, I thought. Setzer, Mog, Straggle, Realm, and Gogo. Makes sense. Physical characters are Locke, Saban, Edgar, Saiyan, Setzer, Mog, and Umaro. Did I have Celeste in there? Saban is a key example of physical character done wrong. Poor weapons with no real tricks to them, lack of defense equipment, the end of the game, great physical stats, horrid magical stats, and a skill set that's almost purely based on magical attacks. This means that he's a character reliable on magical attacks, but not particularly good at them. Since his equipment is oriented towards physical attacks, Saban has a very hard time getting ground on the others and finishes the game a one-trick pony. What is that trick? Cyan is even worse, since he doesn't even have otherwise fine skill set to fall back on. Oh, man. There are also hybrids. Terra, Celeste, Shadow, and Gao. Terra and Celeste are only hybrids in the World of Ruin, mind you. They don't have the weapons to compete as fighters in the World of Balance. Terra and Celeste perform extraordinarily well in both fighting and magic use in-game, while Shadow and Gao are primarily physical but have enough magic powers to be used as backup magical attackers. So I don't know why all this matters, because Final Fantasy VI is not a difficult game. Tim agrees with me on that. So, all I want to know is how it matters with completioning the game. Evaluating the cast. Valuing characters really consists of answering two primary questions concerning the above theories. One, how well does the characters generally use magical physical fit with their stats and skill sets, including magic? How good is the character's defensive equipment? You notice that anyone with high magic is going to end up highly ranked due to magic being almost universal, which is one of the things I don't like about Final Fantasy VI. I like games where you have physical characters and you have magical characters. And, and you can have other, I don't know what a good example is, but support characters, yes. And it just doesn't... Final Fantasy VI is a heavy magic game. All right. Now the evaluations. Below rating system, it's in-game well-trained equipped characters at reasonable levels, 30 or 50 or so, without completely gaming Esper stat boost. Especially not to favor one character and ignoring the merit award. Okay, Terra. Terra is the game's best in-game character, second highest magic combined with trance, and the in-game power magic make her a force to be reckoned with. Throw in one of the best defensive equipment sets, and you have the game's best character. Celeste. She's basically Terra, but with inferior special. Slightly less magic to stay for better physical and defensive stat. Realm that's interesting. I wouldn't have thought Realm would be that high. Realm is a tale of two extremes. Untrained, she's the worst character in the game by a long shot, which is probably why I've always never went with her. The good magic set, however, Realm's bloated magic is alone enough to propel her top tier, and the defense equipment isn't half bad either. Sketch is crap. But who needs it when you're that good with magic? That's probably why I wouldn't normally consider Realm high up there. Gao, another reason. While Gao lacks in offense, he makes up for defensive versatility, has enough magic to make do as a passable mage if needed. Even though his offensive isn't top tier, he still remains competitive through the defense and range of attacks given him a high ranking. Without good skills, though, he drops to the near the bottom. So Gao is good if he, I guess, if he learns all of his. I don't know what they're called. I mean, he just learns all of his stuff from other. It's interesting. He's number 4 though. 5 Mog. Dance may be trash late game, but jump with spears and the dragon horn sure isn't. It is the best defense in the game. What's really secure in this place? Shadow. Shadow is completely average in every way but one. Throw. Throw deals heavy damage from the beginning to the end. New shop options available. You can even adjust to 2 elements, and the skill is Ninja Scrolls work well enough for MT damage, and he can use magic decently enough to pitch. Oh, and then there's extra physical evasion, interceptor adds, plus the highest base evasion in the game, making him one of the best characters against physicals by a long shot. Edgar, I like Edgar. Edgar is a Mog with slightly better offense, but significantly poor defense, so that's not bad compared to the rest of the cast by any means. This is losing trade, but the strength of spears combined with tools for situation uses keeps Edgar firmly in the middle of the pack. Setzer. Setzer at this stage is mostly a Locke clone, except that he needs his fixed dice. Fixed dice are nowhere near as reliable as Locke strikes, but paired with the Master Scroll, he still packs quite a punch despite lower damage. Locke Setzer has much better defense and can further exaggerate this with an imp setup with little penalty. Fixed dice completely ignore the status. Locke, number 9. Read it and weep, Tim. Tim has an unhealthy obsession with Locke. Locke's new weapon choices have taken him from, don't get me wrong, I love Locke, but not like Tim does, from being one of the worst characters to at least a usable one. He needs the Master Scroll to really shine, and even then, his defense hurts him quite a bit, but well equipped, he can make his presence known on the battlefield. Struggle's really hurt by the university of the magic skill. He's not as proficient with it as Realm, and his equipment is worse too, if only because of the headgear. Lures aren't bad, but magic almost always outclasses it. He ends up not too far off from Terran magic after equipment, but the inferior equipment and defense make all the difference. Go-Go. Terrible stats and equipment. Go-Go's only saving grace is his versatility, being able to combine many defenses types of skills in one character, a pure utility character. Go-Go falls flat and on offense, except using Blitz, where he actually is better than Sabin. And has complete trash defense. I can't even remember. I mean, I know who Go-Go is, but I can't even remember what he does. Doesn't he, copy other people? Because how does he use Blitz better than Sabin? I don't know. Sabin has good offense and Phantom Rush. The rest of the party is well trained, even Phantom Rush is just above average. His equipment, however, is just plain shoddy. He has few options to defend against magical attacks. He can support magic defense, has low magic stat. So he can't be a mage. Cyan. I like Cyan a lot. Story-wise, Cyan is just a failed character design. Poorest defense combined with terrible offense to bring Cyan out of the top 12. Bushido does good damage, but having to charge it kills off any potential uses, and his weapons are either mediocre or of types that he can't really take advantage. Kasekiri, thanks to his other failings. That said, he's superior to poorly raised Realm or Gao, which is probably what I had. So yeah. Umaro, lack of control, lack of equipment options, no good skill set. Umaro's dead last, and for a reason. He still beats out Gao and Realm if they lack their good abilities. So there we go. That's it. Wait. We have other chapters. Hopefully they're shorter. Or wait. Let's look at our strategy guide. Yeah, teaching magic, stat boosting, Coliseum, betting chains, and game setups. Teaching magic. Oh, it's short. With regards to teaching magic, there are really 2 types of magic. Those who need the magic skill for offense and those who don't. The ones who need magic for offense, Locke in the World Balance, Terracel's Realm, and other less degree struggles should focus first and foremost on offensive magic because without it, they're not going to do a lot of good. Those who don't need the added offense, Locke, Edgar, Savin, Shadow, Kasai, and Gao, Setzer, Mog, should put the bulk of their expert time in supportive status magic. Alright, that's good to know. However, it is a good idea to teach an offensive spell or 2 to the random skill set. It's I don't know that I care much for the strategy guide. It's stat boosting where I talked about. We already read that. At this point, a few notes are ordered. Terrace, let's make 5 mages, raise them however we like. Terrace slightly better. Shadow's best race strat. East Shuriken. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't need this strategy guide because I can beat the game fairly easy. I mean, I guess it's good to have a little hints of it's not bad. What I really need to know is what do I need to do in order to completionist get all the trophies and not screw things up and have to play through it again. Coliseum betting change. The section is designed to cover the betting chains of the Coliseum. I guess probably the only thing you need to worry about. I would like to learn about Gao because I'm pretty sure there's going to be a trophy in there, which is get all of Gao's stuff. I think we should glance down the trophies and take a look. Betting chains Coliseum, simplify. They're organized based on the final month. So growth 8 chart. So this is to help us get the Coliseum stuff. So we'll come back to this when it matters. In-game setups. And this is just a strategy to best stuff to have for the end game. Don't care. What I really want to know, just grab our table of comments here, is missable item walkthrough. What's this? It's not a full, it's a checklist to help you not miss anything missable. If you're looking for an in-depth guide to completing Final Fantasy VI, click here. What does that take us to? South Figueroa Cave Monsters, meet Fulberhorn, Gauntlet. Agree to Ben's request to receive this. South Figueroa is locked, so don't use the glitch. Just skip this area or you miss the character. Rear camps, kick the chest in the first section and then open chest satellite to ensure the appearance on the veldt. Phantom train monsters, don't leave. South Figueroa Cave monsters. Meet Fulper, Hornet, and Uruk before going to the Turner hideout. It's good to know. Those two. This is in order, I assume. Yeah, we need this. This is important. I'm just going to glance down at it. Fight at least one formation rest before stopping the wait following. Be sure you encounter Sergeant Photo Bells. General, both red and purple major. Before meeting Setzer to leave. Be sure to grab him before leaving. Drain spell. Steal from number 128. Almost quest. Save mob rather than lone wolf. Cave. Like these items. It will not be available again. Imperial lead balloon. Final formation. Obtain fresh case for Nelpa in Evac 1. Click here. Let's click here, me. Miss some item lure 19 after defeating Nelpa. Spotted to the floating item. You will not think to do so. So I put this here. First, this is the first chance to deliver the Wounded Soldier's Letter and Loner's Quest. While neither has missable rewards, the former gives a very rare item. Second, this is your last chance to counter a wide variety of monsters that to make them appear on the veldt if you haven't already done so. Zozo, go secret price, to more pricey. To be more precise, you should have all the bestiary marks 101, 103, and 260 mod, except for Gobblegibbles. None of these are available once you defeat a Lapa. For most of the regular enemies, simply having met them is sufficient, as doing so will make them appear on the veldt later, or you can kill them. In addition to the list above you, there's also the last possibility, meaning Dark Spectre or Europe. Where they lack bestiary entries, they do have rages, so you need to meet them. And to do so, go to Narsh, keep messing up the Follow Sparkle puzzle, and until you meet them, 25-75% get Dark Side. Third all shops you've seen will encounter unavailable after Lapa. I don't understand. I don't remember what the first act is, but yeah, do it. X-Ether still from Lasergun bit. You must cause the bit to be summoned because it has bestiary entry. Floating continent monsters. Bestiary is what killed us in Final Fantasy V, and that in the treasure chest. Floating continent monster bestiary 5. Fight all those monster box before approaching the statues. You must kill End of Act 1. Never appear again, even on the Veldt, as she has a bestiary entry. Not before the end of Act 1. Shadow, when you reach the jump point, don't jump immediately. I miss this every time. Instead, wait the jump point for Shadow to arrive. Every time I miss this one. You lose Shadow, I think, if you don't do it. Healing Rod, grab it with the Collapsing House. Collapsing House monsters, make sure Azoka, Scorpion, none of them can be found again. Dragon Claw, kill both engines Welkin at the same time. You don't get one Dragon Claw and never get the other. Examine the painting before, or you'll never be able to encounter Felicia. That scroll, do not run from Samurai Soul. You'll never obtain the item bestiary. Be sure to meet most monsters. Be sure to meet Trippy Dreamscape area, Dreamscape Cave. Take time to fight IO, Pluto Armor, and Schmidt there. You do not appear anywhere else. Castle, fight Pandora Parasite 9 before taking on Rex Soul after he bites the dust. These creatures are never seen again. Muno is still from Rex Soul. Ragnarok, choose a sword. Everything available using the Esper is available through other means. Choose the sword. Everything may use the Esper. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. And by the way, again, my pet peeve, Ragnarok is not the best sword. The best sword is Excalibur. Force armor, steal from Guardian and Kefka's Tower. Force field, learn from Fiend and Kefka's Tower. She cannot be fight again after the defeat. No other monsters use that skill. Okay. Yeah, that stuff's important. I do want to see if there's anything important about exploring the Veldt. Let's look for Veldt. Really? Gao? Want Gao? Nothing? Okay. We should probably Colosseum strategy guide. We already went through that. Gaming abilities, Esper, status effects, item shop, bestiary checklist. What does the checklist do? Just shows us all. Does it show us where they are? Yeah. Well, it says best location at least. Whoops. So that will be helpful. And let's see if there is a Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster trophy guide. How to get every trophy achievement. How many are there? That's a good question. I would like to know that. 37 trophies, so not too bad. I think that's roughly equivalent to 5. I think there's 39 if I remember right, but I don't. All 6 Pixel Remaster games have their own set of between 24 and low and final and 39. Poll package have a ton of achievement heading. We're speaking from personal experience. To get in the nitty gritty here, here's Final Fantasy 18 bronze, 14 silver, 4 gold, and of course 1 platinum. Now, honor they may know how to get them. How to obtain every trophy. Part of the story. We don't care about those. You quit as part of the main story. This is technically missable despite being related to the main story, as you need to have reunited with 5 allies for it, and you only need 2 before taking on the final dungeon. This is type of missable being related to the main story. 10 allies for it, and you only need 2 before taking on the final dungeon. Obtain 15, obtain every Esper. This requires you to choose to receive Ragnarok as a Magicite rather than as a sword when you head to Narsha. Ooh, I think I read that. Otherwise I'd be in trouble because the strategy guy just told me not to do that. Obtain all tools, once you don't need to reach you don't need to reach level 70 with saving for this last one if you take him to Duncan's cabin. The World of Ruin, Team Hall. These are the silver ones. Taidal, Science Bushido landed on Joker's death while using Sister Slockman. There are conflicting reports. Some have claimed this trophy is actually acquired by landing on every slot combination. Interesting. So you got to use the slots between 20 of Struggle's lore spells. You don't need to learn every lore spell for it. That's good. Team 50 of Gal's Rage technique. C-bar for Rage. Now that would be completionists. C above, but for Rage. So you don't have to learn everyone. That's awesome. Win an item, win 10 battles, reach level 50. So that's our goal, is level 50 with every party member. Yeah, defeat 100,000. That's easy to beat. 2,000, complete 10% of the bestiary. Complete 50% of the bestiary. Complete the bestiary. So this is going to be probably the hardest trophy, requiring a great deal of perseverance to ensure enemies spawn in every area of the game. Using a guide is highly recommended. Okay, so this is the one. And that's why we need the guide. Team 5, in the PlayStation version, you can ramp up your guild earnings by 2 times or 4 times your boost if you like to expedite the process. So you can still get trophies in if you do the cheat. 10%, 50%. Open every treasure chest. Remember, you can access maps now that let you know how many treasure chests or hidden items in every area. Good. I need to. That really killed me in Final Fantasy V too. The bestiary apparently you can add together when your saves. It's conglomerate, but not with treasure chests. I assume this is the same. Obtain every hidden item, travel to every map location. Be sure to consult the map and the world bounds for any still grayed out dots before advancing the floating continent. Obtain every trophy. All right, so definitely we're going to want to use this walkthrough. So let's take a look at it. Section contains some spoilers. Many spoilers are covered in spoiler tags like blue. Select the text to reveal it. However, due to the nature of the guide, it's impossible to completely avoid spoilers, especially if they happen. So read ahead of where you are in the game at your own risk. For an abbreviated version of the walkthrough that only details things you must permanently, click here, which we already saw. This section covers the first half or so of the game. Through this guide and pretty much anywhere talked about finds this portion will also refer to as the World of Balance. For those of you who don't care about spoilers, it stands for World of Balance. Now I see how I see them. Right here. You watch PSX Anthology's opening. I assume you're watching this that you've already played the game or you don't want to play the game. But yeah, spoilers. I mean, if I'm playing the game, it's a spoiler if you haven't played the game. So, plus I don't believe in spoilers anyway. Don't get me started on that. PSX, this video is mine. This is a great opening. Maybe after videos, watch the opening scene. Missable alert number 1, especially during the first half of the game, it's important to make sure you meet all possible monsters if you intend to try for a perfect rage list later. You also need to defeat most monsters at least once to get their bestiary entries. While most through, though not all monsters can still be encountered, even after the areas they are found in are no longer available. Change counter sets, you won't be able to do so until well into the post game. So just take care of this as you go throughout the game, which is just normal strategy. It doesn't mention anything about Gao or the belt though. Items, none. Enemies, guard Megalo Silver Lowell. Picks a remaster if you're playing a different version. We begin the game as 3-headed party, a woman named Blue and Big's a witch. Magic tech armor. Here the witch, fire and cure, preparations. I'm just gonna skim through this. Set yourself no equipment chains, make sure it's critically you can, stick around. Once you're ready, battle on Ray. Can't enter buildings. Skinny north, fin like structures, screen counter, you should make it at the dispatch and follow path there. Okay, so we're gonna do this prologue until the Narsh mines. And make sure we get Guard, Megalodeath, and Silver Lobo. Screen contains one encounter, 2 each of Guard and Megalith to exact. Dispatch them and follow the path to enter. Stepping on this tile, toss battle into 2 Silver Lobos, then 2 Guards. Slay them or avoid the battle entirely. Continue on. 2 Guards, Silver Lobos. Slay these for the sponge. The screen contains one encounter, 2 each of Guard and Megalith. Dispatch them and follow the path to enter. Okay, let's do it. Let's start it, and then we'll come back to this guide. So I'm going to stop, and I probably won't show the rest of this. I'll probably just talk through it. Well, maybe I should do. I guess this whole thing is a prologue. Let me read through all through it. Cannon in the path. Narsh Mines, Spritz, Ymir, and Head. Oh, it says if it's a boss or not. That's helpful. Spiritual where in the mine, simply head north. You'll need to use Bioblast. I don't care about the strategy. I just want to make sure I get all the stuff. This just tells them their stats. So little as possible to defeat the shell for an ether. It isn't worth the time it takes. The only catch here is magic missile. It's best option. All right, so just need to make sure we get all those enemies. I did want to see, no, not the bestiary. I want to see, where's the miss? I just want to see what the first thing that we can miss is to make sure we don't miss it. Missable item walkthrough. South Figaro Cave, meet Fopa Hornet before returning to the return hideout. South Figaro Cave, which is not where we are, right? No, this is in Narsh Mines. South Figaro Cave, okay. So we don't have to worry about anything until really we get to South Figaro. All right. I did want to go over some, just before we start, let's check out the Final Fantasy news. One piece of news I do know is that Final Fantasy VII, the mobile game, I can't remember what it's called. This first one is pretty good. Ever Crisis. And it's launching in a month. And it'll probably be so this is Final Fantasy VI. I'll probably play that as my 7 playthrough because I hear it covers the entire story. But it depends. If it's not great, maybe I won't. I'm trying to get on the beta. If I do, try to stream it. I'm going to have to figure out how to stream from my phone, which will be new. And probably have to get like a HDMI pass-through or something. Play it on my PC. Yeah, we'll see. So most of the news is probably going to be Final Fantasy VII. 16 brings our action figures. I want to look at their action figures. Let's show them. It's pretty cool. He's not my favorite, though. I can't even remember his name. What's his name? Clive. That's right. And I do not like their wolf. Although he looks better as an action figure, to be honest. And Jill. Not bad. There we go. I liked Sid a lot. That's a bad action figure, though. I don't like his face. And Dion is pretty cool, too. But, again, I don't like the face on him. Hers is pretty good. Benedicta, I'm surprised as her. She's not really a main character. She barely shows up. Barnabas. It's not bad. Hugo. Wow. Different rings. Yeah, those are pretty cool, I guess. If you're into action figures, which I'm not really. Dissidia stuff. I know nothing about Final Fantasy Dissidia, and I don't know if I want to. Final Fantasy Cell. Final Fantasy 14 Walker has a patch. This is Dawn Trail. Dawn Trail, new Final Fantasy 14 online expansion. Interesting. New Kabuki Final Fantasy 10 to be distributed. What is Kabuki? Spring new Kabuki files performed to great acclaim and stage on Tokyo 360-degree audience rotation, collaboration, performing art of Kabuki. What is Kabuki? It's like Japanese like dance or something. Oh, that's interesting. There's a Final Fantasy 10 Kabuki. It's like that mask thing. Yeah, like that. Interesting. Wow. That's sort of cool. I wonder if it'll ever come to live streaming. It does have live streaming, same day for videos. So eventually videos will come out. All right, that's interesting. Final Fantasy VII Era Crisis announces Comic Con stuff. Don't care, not going to Comic Con. Final Fantasy VII Remake Personal Aroma. Okay. Chocobo's Dungeon, the board game. Yeah, I'm curious. Does it come with miniatures? Not really. Eh, sorta. Looks interesting. Might try it out on tabletop. Yeah, it's illegal. Get over it. Althea, just Final Fantasy 16. All right. So Ever Crisis we already talked about. Launches next month. Things together. Another possibility for a remake. It does say it's a little bit different, like story-wise. They might change it a little bit from the original Final Fantasy story. Guess we'll find out when it comes. All right. So thanks for joining for the news and discussion. And I will see you in episode 2, which I'm going to do right now, where we actually start Final Fantasy VI, the game. Thank you.